did, because we just went live and you said fucked up in like 1 second. Jesus
And
Christ.
we
You
have
got to
8:30.
warn a motherfucker.
You told me to. All right, let me go to this thing and change this. I'm going to change the description and say not monetized now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Y'all
Look,
know better than to put that kind of pressure
I
on
tend
me
to
on
get
that particular
Right.
avenue.
I tend to get demonetized really quick. So there's whoa.
When
holy
we do
shit,
our live
everything-
streams, we don't even monetize anymore. It's a
We don't
lost
even
cause.
monetize anymore.
It's
We
a
just-
it's a lost cause. We don't even try. When it pops up a little thing, monetize? No. Just don't
Hey,
even bother.
look at that. Mitchell Reese is in here. Mitchell,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday, dog.
Happy clawing you way out of a vagina, Jake.
Right?
Ow, that one
Oh, Lord.
bit me.
Your first look at the real world, and you were like, I liked it better in here. Damn.
God. That made me think of
Okay.
that old damn Dave Chappelle.
Listen,
Is that a
listen.
baby?
If I tried to
It's
say
worse.
that, if I tried to
was
say
a
that to
baby.
my grandmother, like today is the anniversary of the first time I came out of a vagina, my grandmother would bury me. You guys are way cooler than my family. Just saying.
No, just because we're filthy, profane fucks don't mean we're cooler. It just
That
means we're
is
filthy,
cooler.
profane. That's not a compliment.
It is cooler.
It's not.
It is. Laura, what up? Shannon.
What's up, Laura and Mitchell and Shannon? And the other three of you that'll be here all night,
Right.
meaning us.
Yep.
Right.
Hold on.
Ooh, good Lord.
I know
Good golly,
right?
Miss Molly.
that one kicked me in my
In your thingy
perineum.
thing. Listen, speaking of that,
or good morning and afternoon, Ganbold. Am I reading that correctly? I don't have my glasses on.
Ganbold
Ganbold?
Pure W. What the? Okay. Can you explain?
Well, how you
Gamble.
doing? Yeah,
How did you
I
find
want to
us?
make sure I'm saying that right. I'm not trying to make fun. I just want to make sure I'm saying it.
I just want to know who
Yeah.
you are. If you're on my channel, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you're on theirs, welcome. Like if you came from my channel,
Like
I
we're any-
apologize for everything I'm
Like
about
we're
to
any
do.
better.
There's welcome.
Right. Fire. Hits from the bong. Oh, damn. Good Lord Almighty. Thank you, Madam Red.
Oh shit!
Oh, Lord.
I'm still recovering. I want to say something witty because we're in this awkward stall, but every time I open my mouth, the top
So,
fighting me.
here you go. Here you go. You want something witty? Because I wasn't sure what we were going to do tonight. Did you see the title of this stupid thing?
No. What is it?
Cowboys, Indians, and YB Petty. So, how about those Cowboys and Florida State? You about to get ready to be fucking taught a lesson by Georgia? Okay, now that I got that out the way.
I happen to agree. Out of all, again, there was some teams that were going to be ass hurt this year, but they have gone so overboard with their ass hurt. And the funny thing is, Georgia's going to end that conversation.
Georgia's
going to end that conversation.
Georgia's going to spank him.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
I hate it for Florida State fans out there, but Georgia's going to end that argument.
But for all you college football fans, if you go look at the lineup for the bowl games, there's going to be some sweet ones.
However, can you imagine in the off chance that by some miracle the third string quarterback that would be playing for Florida State that day, well, maybe the second string guy gets healthy, or well, hell, could the first string guy be back? Was his season ending? My point being is, what if? Just what if? I don't believe it's going to happen, but what if Florida State pulled off winning that game? You talk about they'd be able to talk shit the whole off season.
Laura, you didn't lose your lighter ass itch for it.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that Louisiana State and Iowa State are playing in a bowl.
Yeah.
I was surprised about that because I have friends that like Louisiana State, but they'll cheer for Iowa State, because they live in Iowa too.
Oh, that game's not even going to be close.
Yeah.
Iowa's gonna annihilate them.
Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah. Iowa State's gonna annihilate them.
Big
I would
difference if you
love
live in
that.
Iowa.
I live.
I would too.
LSU's
That's why
right
I'm
down the
saying
road.
I'm
Love that, but that's not what's going to happen.
you know, a guy can dream, Kenny.
I
Speaking
know,
of
right?
dreams, what do you dream about for Christmas presents this year? Anything you really wanted? Did you get everything you wanted yet, or you get your own presents? I mean, how do we work this? You know, Christmas is coming.
What's hilarious is those of y'all that watch our show, you know, my wife has some unique tastes. So it's gotten to be this little game throughout the year. She'll send me little things. Hey, I like this. Isn't this cool? And I'm like, I'll tell her, get it. No. But I save those.
Yeah.
And come
Which
Christmas
means she
time.
wants you to buy it for her.
Exactly. I know what
Nice.
that means. So comes Christmas time, I know what to get her. And it's not really a surprise. She knows that I'm going to go to whatever I got to do to get those things, you know. Now, however, for me, I mean, I don't really play that game. So she's usually very thoughtful, and her gifts are usually spot on. So
I wonder if that works, because I'm gonna send my wife a picture of a 30-06 that I'm looking at. I mean,
my wife, the last time, well, I mean, last Christmas was the guitar. So, I mean, you know, my wife, she doesn't go wrong.
My wife just tells me to buy what I want, because like she has to ask me. She's like, what do you want? And I'll go get it. And I'm like, that ain't going to work. Like, you know, you'll understand this, Daniel. If she says, do you want pants? Yeah, but I need to go try them on. Right? You want shoes? I need to try them on. You want a guitar? I need to try it on.
Do you know my pants are the only thing I buy for myself?
Really? She buys your shoes too?
No, not, I guess, my shoes, but I will say this. It's because where I work demands a certain kind of work pant, and I know what I'm looking for. I go get them. Point being is, though, my wife, and I'm not going to insult her by saying this, she will use this exact word to describe herself, is cheap. Yeah. She shops cheap. She finds the deal. She's all that. But I keep a budget for myself every week also for whatever I might need throughout the week. But no, she handles almost all buying because I'm an impulse spender. She would never tell me just go buy what you want, because I'm like,
yeah,
I could go without lunch for a week and maybe push off the light bill to the next week. And
I've seen you do that in Walmart. I have seen you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's really good on Jocelyn. Well, I could go without lunch today, tomorrow, have a slight.
And I did,
Friday.
and she got. I did, and she got it.
You did. Yeah. Right. I've seen you do that.
My wife is the same way. She is not into expensive. In fact, I saw this meme on Facebook, and I sent it to her because I thought it was funny, and it said, I'm going to get LV tattooed across my nuts so I can give her a designer bag every night. And she said, no, I'm super cheap. And I said, and she goes, no, that's not me. I'm super cheap. I'm like, so what do I got to get? She says 99 cents. I said, another thing? That is, the first one was $2. How am I going to balance this? You know, but she is notoriously the same way. I will, when we go out shopping, and this is a frustration for me. Like, my wife will say, let's go to Target. Okay. She was about to start a new job. For those of you who don't know, my wife became a teacher this year. And so she was about to start a new job. So, you know, you need work clothes kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's go, and we're going to get you some work clothes. So we go to Target, and she has spent 45 minutes looking in the clearance section. And in the meantime, I'm walking around with my son, and I have 5 outfits in the cart. And she's like, I don't want these. Look at these. And I go, they don't even go together. Cheap doesn't always mean good. I get it does sometime. But and she was furious at me that I wanted to buy. And I told her, I said, here's the deal. I said, there's a cart. It's got good clothes in it. You can spend as much time as you want here looking through the clearance section. Here's my credit card. I'm going to be in the car when you're done, because cheap doesn't always, like, sometimes you just got to fork it out and get it, right?
There's certain things, yes.
So, like I get that my wife wants to find cheap jeans, but not at the risk of like them being the one pair of jeans that are in the clearance section that have like fucking, rhinestone fucking flowers all over the ass of them. No, 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 no. It's not a good look, right? So just because it was cheap doesn't mean it's a good thing,
Yeah.
So God, I grabbed that because I thought one of you
Oh,
would too.
my wife and daughters, you talk a good time to them. Once a
Mhm.
month out here, this
Gucci.
mission
Oh yeah.
salvage store, they they have everything. They'll give you a big bag, and everything you can fit in that bag, you can walk out for $5. They will go into that thrift store and clean fucking house, man. They'll have 19 shirts and 4 pairs of pants, and they'll tell them what stuff in their bag. As long as they stuff it in that bag, they get it for $5. They love thrift, and
Yeah,
all
I do
three of
too.
them, all three of them have a talent for finding cool shit. They don't find that
Yeah,
janky shit like he's talking about. They always
yeah,
come home with cool
yeah,
shit. They have a knack for it.
yeah.
But they never. I tried to get in work pants that way too, but they never have my size. Apparently, I'm in one of those awkward that men
No,
don't come in sizes.
men's jeans and little boys' jeans. If you find them in a place like Goodwill or Salvation Army or some thrift store, that's like winning the golden ticket for Willy Wonka because they're so scarce. I mean, and
Even
it's just
in
because boys are tough on their jeans.
I buy my work jeans from Tractor Supply, and people can laugh at that all they want to, but I work
No,
in a harsh environment,
Yeah.
and
they make good jeans.
right, and the one they hold up, and they're
they sell
actually not
worker
that
jeans.
expensive. They're not that expensive compared to some of the like I could even go to Walmart or anywhere else and get. So I get them there, and they have their clearance racks every once in a while, and they got this other brand that if I'm in a bind and I need some pants, they're a little cheaper made, and it's a cheaper brand. I mean, like they're like dirt cheap. And it's like those are the get me over the week because they may not last that long kind of jeans. But
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I go and I get those, and they're not the cheapest jeans, but they're not like it's not like paying for a pair of fucking Dickies work pants or anything like that, or even Carhartt or
I
fucking even
It's the
Wranglers for that
can
matter.
I just mention how ridiculous it is now the prices anyway on them on jeans.
well, on
Like
everything, period.
I just went and we were doing some shopping and I looked over at Target because we don't have a Walmart near us. So we have to drive to the next city over, which is like 25 miles away or 23 miles away to get to Walmart. So I just went in to see what they had. And the first thing I did was touch the jeans, like before I'm going to buy these things. And I felt the fabric, and I'm like,
It touches the jeans.
good denim is not it. Good denim is not like all soft and fluffy, right?
Right,
Right.
And this was like soft, fluffy, cotton, stretchy denim. And I was
right,
like, the first time I have to get down and clean out my sump pump in the middle of a
right.
storm this winter, those pants are toast. So
Truthfully, if you want good denim, that shit's got to be beat and broke in almost like fucking shoe leather, man. Denim, I mean,
you,
it's got a
you,
certain
yeah,
tensile strength when it's
yep.
good,
And
strong.
so I went. My wife came in and she's like, "Hey, here you go. I had a thing for $15 off my purchase at Boot Barn." Okay, so went over to Boot Barn, and anybody that knows Boot Barn knows they sell Western wear, and the Western jeans are for ranchers. They're not for looks,
Right.
so
Right,
they're meant to last a long time. And I went in,
right,
and thank God, dude. You talk about like a lucky day for me. I go in and here's a pair of jeans. And they're not cheap, people. They're $65. It's
red,
California.
right.
And I look Oshkosh. Oh yeah, absolutely. Liberty Bibs, another pair of overalls that'll last you forever.
I
And
got some in the closet there somewhere.
yep. And I went in and they had a sale of buy one get one pair free, and I got $15 off. So I walked away with two pair of jeans for less than one pair of jeans at Target, and they were actual ranch jeans. You work, so you know what I'm talking about. You don't want jeans just for the comfort. They need to be able to
Right.
handle if something hits them that they're not going to tear.
Oh, I have two. This is sick. I have two pair of pants that are my go out pants.
Hey, Casey.
Everything else I have is work tough. Um, you know, so yeah, I feel you.
As a guy, I think if you work hard, shoes are important, and your clothing is important because, like, if you're working outdoors in the cold, you need protection for that stuff.
Hey, buddy, you saw my new jacket. I showed it to you recently.
And I think people think that men don't shop, but we just don't shop for daily shit. For ourselves,
And
we shop
we
for our
don't.
work clothes.
And shopping is different for us. Let's say my wife and I each have the same 10 items to go get.
How long will it take you?
Before my foot even steps foot in that door, I have thought about where everything I'm getting on that list is and the best path to get to all of them the quickest and get the fuck out. She will go in there and go to pick this thing up and start looking. Well, actually, she has developed a hatred for shopping over the last about year and a half. She used to love to shop. She hates it now. But used to, like most women I know, she'd go in there and looking at one thing, and the next thing you know, she's 30 minutes in and she's not even gotten a quarter of the items on her list. I'm at home napping.
Yep. Well,
you know what I'm saying? And I'm out.
I have a feeling the reason why she's hating it is why the reason a lot of us hate it right now is just the price of everything. It's not like it used to be where you could go in and say, I'm gonna get, this much stuff. And no, now you got to go and you got to check prices on everything. So
Madam's calling bullshit on me. But see, the problem is, Madam, the experiences you've had with me in Walmart is because I've got a pocket full of y'all in my head while I'm sewn in Walmart.
That's true. That is true. And we're not saying nice things. We're not saying nice things in your ear.
Right?
No.
Right.
I will say this. He will spend more time distracted in the pawn shop than he will in Walmart.
Yeah.
Kenny's been with me pawn stores.
And I'm gonna say the pawn shop, some of the pawn shops he has around there are bomb, bro. Like
right,
I need to go
the gun racks. I showed them the gun racks, and my favorite one, man, they have some shit in there.
Bro,
they are ready
for
the
like real guns that have magazines that hold more than 10 rounds and shit.
Oh, we got the shit, man. We got that place out there. And every other gun shop that's tried to open winds up getting closed down, and they wind up with that. They buy those people's shit up at sellout too. They do. They have for a pawn shop. I mean, you might as well just walked into whatever premier gun shop you can find. I mean, they've got some hard to find shit in there. Next time we're in Discord and I'm in there again,
we are not responsible for the squirrels in Walmart. Yeah. Pawn shops for heaven. Hey, you know what? I will say, like, I unfortunately I know what you're talking about because like
there's a 6-string right now sitting in that pawn shop.
I owned a music store, and the dude who financed my music store owned a pawn shop. Right? Like he put the money up for this store, and as soon as I paid it off, it was mine, kind of thing, right? He wanted me to work for him. He thought he wasn't gonna make money. He didn't know who he hired. So I made a killing and bought it real fast. But I would have paid off the store quicker had it not been that every time I went over to give him money to pay off the loan for the store, that I saw what he had in the back. Dude, I scored. Okay, Daniel, you'll appreciate this. Anybody that's a musician will. The rest of you, sorry, it won't take long. I bought a 1969 Plexi 50-watt head and 412 cabinet for $500 from him.
See,
I don't know.
I had this very same battle over
basically Jimi Hendrix's amp,
right,
for $500 because somebody pawned it that cheap.
This is even a little more obscure for you, but the same idea, because I've seen that as a musician, as some of the instruments they have in there, and they have this database now that they're supposed to look all this shit up on. But like, I went into this pawn shop once, and people assume when they see a trombone, if they don't see the trigger and all the extra tubing, it's a beginner horn. But they make just straight horns too, and especially jazz players use them. Well, anyway, I went into this one day, and they have a Bundy, which only really makes beginner line.
Wait, what did I do?
And they've got this motherfucker in there for $700, and I'm like, that's a beginner horn. You ain't getting that. And they had a actual 1953 Conn 3G straight trombone, which was favored by Irby Green and Slide Hampton. I mean, guys like that. But I mean, a well-known trombone. And they had it for $100. And I was like,
if you know names of instruments like that because you've played and you've done band, did you ever play an instrument, D? Like,
I was going to say, Daniel saw that is a trombone for
Mhm.
$100, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Well, let's see. I don't have to eat lunch today or tomorrow."
Look, that six
absolutely.
string bass,
Be honest,
that's
that's what
sitting
you
in
were
that
getting.
pawn shop. I've been having that conversation with myself a lot. And then there's a second conversation going on. Do I keep it or do I give it to my daughter?
Yeah,
Well, you know,
and knowing you and how great of a dad you are, you would give it to your daughter. You would.
Probably, and get my fury back. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was,
my
I
time will come
was,
later.
I was at a pawn shop, um, and found, for anybody who played clarinet ever before, there's different brands of them based on Bundy, Con. You know what I'm,
Right.
you know all the different names of all.
Yamaha, Eclair,
I
yeah,
I
there's
got
ridiculous.
I was at a pawn shop and found an Yvette Buffet Crampton $8,000 clarinet for $300, and I bought it and put it in my music store and sold it. They just didn't know what they had, and when you find those deals like that, a part of you wants to tell them what they had so you don't go to hell, but you don't want to have to pay more for it, right? So, like,
Right.
because you know it's wrong to give them
Josh,
that little of a price for it.
right? My
Right.
coworker's daughter is in band also. She's in the same grade with my daughter, and they lucked up on it's an Italian name, and it escapes me right off the top of my head, but very high end clarinets, and they were this old school ones are still made of wood and everything, and they fucking man, and they found that motherfucker for $50, and the first thing he did was he got online and started researching it, and that thing was worth like $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah.
And right now, our band director is putting some new pads and shit in it for her, and she's got a fucking top shelf fucking clarinet for $50. So a lot of times, especially in band instruments, they're better with guitars and stuff like that, but it's with trombones and clarinets and that kind of shit, man. And you can, a lot of times with guitars, I mean, I've walked in there before and saw a guitar sitting there for $125 that I was about to shit my britches because I only had about 35 cents on me.
Oh, damn.
I'm like, dude, would you take my pinky finger? I'll give you a toe. I tell you what, I'll give you a pinky and two toes.
That's
Can we
how
work something out?
that's how I felt. You've seen it. If people in Discord have seen it, I have a guitar that is very special, and when that guitar came up, I didn't have the money for it. So in order to get it, I had to be willing to do whatever it took to get the money, which was to sell 3 guitars, a bass pedal, and a drum machine to be able to buy this stupid thing. But it was worth it. But I didn't have to not eat.
These are the droids you're looking for.
Daniel, what are you doing?
I was subliminally trying to send y'all a fucking message. I was like, they'll see it in a minute.
I thought maybe you got a promo from them or something, and you were like,
Hey, we did. One night we played Eureka in Batesville, Mississippi, big biker bar, and they had Jägermeister reps there that night, and they sent the girls in the little outfits and all that shit too. I can't say that because of my wife, but we actually there's pictures. There's maybe even I think I've posted some in our Discord in the wristbands. The Jaeger rep gave us those wristbands, and
"Oh,
the cool
I
thing is
can't."
I always wore wristbands anyway. I usually wear black ones, but I sweat so hard to keep sweat from running down in my palms while I'm playing. So that night I wore the Jaeger wristbands, and they gave us Jaeger cups and shot glasses and caps and T-shirts and they
Damn.
had this big giant keg of Jaeger, and the whole bar just got blasted on Jägermeister. Fun
Damn.
times.
Yeah.
Now, how about we take this shot?
Yes.
I'm ready. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
I also had a dude try to pour a bottle of Jaeger down my throat while I was playing one night. He walked up to me and was like, "Yeah," he just poured it all down my face and my bass. That kind of upset me a little bit. It's like,
Yeah.
you know what
Dude,
it's going to take to clean that shit off my fretboard?
Right.
dude,
Fuck.
at least it didn't get in the pick guard and hit the electronics.
No, I am very lucky. It did get It was tight, man. I mean, I was fortunate because it got a good coating. So did I. I had to go change shirts. It was a cool idea. We were in rock star mode, but the dude that was trying to pour was way too fucked up to be the guy pouring. And he just, I'm there and he's like, hey.
I never had anybody try and pour booze down my throat while I was playing on stage, but I got hit in the head with a beer bottle on stage once, so there is that.
We used to pour Jack Daniels down our drummer's throat while he was doing solos. He'd throw his head back while he was throwing down, and we would. Now, he was a seasoned pro, though. If you had the shakes, he could follow you.
Yeah.
But he's also the guy flopping on the ground like a fish after the gig, and the guy booking us for the next time is like, maybe you also shed some dead weight. Get off the floor, Matt. God, you're embarrassing us.
I've said this a million times in Discord. I'm just going to say it again. You guys and your amazing lives. I mean, the things that you've experienced and seen, and just, it's awesome.
Probation wasn't cool, though.
Think about that.
Yeah, like that
I
part
was
sucked.
As fun as some of it sounds, it hasn't all been fun.
No,
that
maybe
fun
not,
comes with, what have we said before? The universe operates in balance. Yeah. So for all these fun ones we have a kick in the ass too. To go with it.
I want to remember the good times, but I don't want to relive any of the shit that had consequences anymore.
Yeah.
I'm cool. Like back then we didn't think about it because we were invincible, remember? Like it didn't matter. Jump off a 2-story roof into a pile of leaves. Fuck yeah, I'll do that. You don't realize what's gonna happen when you hit that shit.
Dude, my first trip with my college marching band,
Laura.
We did a what's the word I'm looking for? Exhibition down on the coast for this high school game. We stayed down there, everything. Well, anyway, 4th floor of this hotel. I was awful in this day for the whole telling me I can't or won't or I'm not scared to or I dare you. While I was in Lions Band, that's another story I'll tell y'all another day. They had to call the first responders to help me for a situation I got in because I wasn't scared. I was hanging on a vine over a fucking 200-foot valley and couldn't go nowhere. Just hanging there. I went to jump from a thing that they dared me to jump, catch it, swing, and then when it come back, get off of it. Swing out over this fucking valley.
Sure.
Didn't work out.
I jumped, I hit the vine, it went out, stopped.
Yeah.
And I was just like, there it was. But anyway, in this hotel, they had the balcony, and Mr. Weaver, the guy that teaches my freaking daughter now, is partially responsible for this. He opened the door, and he's like, Daniel ain't scared to jump in the pool from here.
Oh.
It never even occurred to me to ask and make sure there was a pool down there. I sprinted through the room and swan dove right over the rail. Thank God there was a pool.
Oh.
I never thought to ask or nothing or even, make sure. Didn't look to see where it was in relation to the balcony, whether I could make the jump or not. Just,
oh my God.
There was a dude in this town
Stupid.
where my friend lived in this town, and there was a dude who lived there who was like this idiot who would do anything for money, like jackass on steroids, right? Like $5 he would ride a BMX bicycle as fast as he could into a brick wall, right? Like just that kind of stuff, right? And
at least he was smart. I didn't even get money.
They had a 2-story house. They had a 2-story house, and if you gave him enough money, he would ride his bicycle off the 2nd-story roof into the empty pool. So we did.
That doesn't end well.
No.
It does. It ends in the hospital.
When the cast came off, it was cool. It had a lot of signatures on it.
There's a video that's been on YouTube for years and years and years. I don't know if y'all seen it, but it's that anything for bucks. It's a crackhead, and they promise him they'll give him $10 for a rock if he'll go up to it's either a 2 or 3-story apartment complex to the roof and do a backflip off of the roof. Tell you
into
what,
the pool.
No, just the ground. Just do a backflip off the fucking roof. And that fucking jacked up crackhead gets himself up there. He's walking all across. He's already twitching. That motherfucker gets up there and woof,
and eat
and
shit.
when he hits the ground, it's awful. The sound it makes when he hits the
Yeah.
ground.
And
Like,
he's
the kaplop.
still, and he
jumps right up.
still gets up and is like, "Give me my money."
Oh yeah,
You
probably.
can tell. You can tell he's
Probably.
hurting. You can tell he's hurting. You can hear it in his breathing, and he's trying to give him out. I mean, you can tell, you can tell he's hurting, but that
y'all
motherfucker's coming for his money.
Y'all want to hear the greatest bully story ever? My friend, her kid was a bully, right? Like he was like, I don't know, 8, right? And bullied all the kids in the apartment. He was much bigger than them at 8 years old. He was a really big kid, right? So he's just a bully. And I was getting tired of him bullying these kids, right? But you know, it ain't my kids, so I'm like, you know, what am I gonna do about it, right? So I'm over there one day at their
I
apartment,
saw that.
and her brother is out there bullying these kids at the pool, and he's riding his skateboard around the pool and ate shit and flew off said skateboard, and his arm flew back and hit the edge of the pool and snapped his arm. And when he got out of the pool crying, every one of the little kids jumped up. And I was like, oh my God. She's like, oh God, now we got to take him to the hospital. So you ready for this? Not only do we have to take him to the hospital, but I was the only one with a car. It was a 1965 very lowered VW Bug driving over very bumpy streets to the hospital. When he got out, he came back to the apartment and he asked if the kids that he had bullied would autograph his cast. So they did. Oh, you should have seen the shit that they said on there.
I bet.
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, so how does it feel, Mr. Bully, to get bullied back?
And there's nothing like being intoxicated and trying to take someone with a severe issue. Look, we had a kid. Me and this dude. It was a really dry year, and we went to this pier all overlooking one of the lakes up in the Delta. And our big idea was, in our drunken stupor, was the big rocks they put there to keep the shore from washing away, was to get one of those and drop it off in the water. Didn't occur to us that we went out past the pier to get the rock. That meant when we threw the rock off the pier, we weren't going to hit nothing but other rocks. But that we were too fucked up for that to register yet. So me and Sid are carrying this big fucking rock down this pier. We get to the end of the pier, set the rock down. I look up, and Sid's gone. He backed up to the very edge, and as we set the rock down, fell.
You didn't hear him splash?
There was no splash. There was no water. That's what I was saying. It was dry. We went out past the pier to get the rock. Yeah, so that's why I said when we dropped the rock, we had another rock. Anyway, so I look over the edge and Sid, it's like something out of a stupid movie. He's laying there all sprawled like this, and you hear him, But what you can see is this bone and this elbow is like out here.
Oh, God.
And our drunk asses got him into, it was a convertible. What was it? Not Fiero. It was a step up, maybe a Sebring or something. Oh, what was that car? Anyway, and the Cleveland hospital were like, there's nothing we can do for him. You're going to have to go to Greenville. We went to Greenville, and they denied us. And we finally wound up going to Greenwood, and Greenwood LaFleur took him. And the only thing that kept that motherfucker inside his head was he was so remarkably drunk. He was sitting there the whole way. We've got him set in a way that we think it's not doing the least damage to the meat that in it. And oh God, it was bad. And he's just, man, that looks pretty bad. I might feel that tomorrow. And oh my God.
Was it a Miata? Right? Was it by any chance a Miata?
No, it was bigger than that. It was
probably a Sebring convertible.
Yeah, it was one of those kind of styled cars, but there was five of us riding in it. So
if you're familiar with that one, then you remember the Dodge Stratus, right?
Yeah,
dude. Every time I take my kid to school and drive home, I see the tree that kicked my Stratus's ass. Because tree versus Stratus, the Stratus didn't survive.
Sometimes they reach out there and
like there's a big old hole in the tree, and the tree's looking at me like, "Gotcha, bitch! And where's your car now?"
Right? Like, totally. And can I just say the worst part of having an accident like that, like Kenny just described, where he hit a tree? is that the city sends you a bill for the tree.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude.
They
Oh
do
my
for
God. Oh
damage
my
you've
God.
done to the tree. It's like, fuck you.
Oh my
Drive
God.
without a car.
So years ago, I had a friend who I had this mini truck and he wanted it really bad. And he had a car that I was willing to trade for, 65 Mustang, right? For a Toyota mini truck. So I'm like, fine, I'll trade it. Now you got to get it put in your name and you got to get it financed and da 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 da, right? So
Right.
he's supposed to go do that, but he just keeps telling me that he's working on it. And the next thing I know, my ass is like, I go out and party. It's a Friday night, right? I go out and party, pick up some girl at this bar. We're back at my pad. My grandparents are gone for a week, right? So the house is mine, right? I got it. So I got this broad in the house. I got all this stuff going on, and I am ripped. And the cops show up at my door at 1:45 in the morning, knocking at the door, and they're like, I go, what? What do you do? What? And they're like, are you so and so? And I'm like, uh-huh. And they go, do you own this Toyota truck license number? And I'm like, well, yeah, because I still own it. He hasn't put it in his name yet, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, we'd like to discuss that, where you've been tonight. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They go, your truck was found wrapped around a telephone pole. I'm like, no. And I'm like, I got proof, right? I didn't do that. I got proof. I've been here for an hour and a half already, man. And like, I got a witness. They go, okay, who's your witness? I go, fuck if I know her name. Right?
I had
And they're like,
something.
what? And so I had to go get her and have her go to the door and explain how long. And the cop goes, you don't even know her name? And I'm like, no. And he goes,
You're fucked up, dude.
how trashed are you? And I go, I'm trashed, but I wasn't driving that motherfucker. And then the city of Alhambra sued us for $8,000 for a telephone pole.
Yeah.
I had a similar. I mean, we didn't get sued for it and everything, but I had a similar experience. I sold a Thunderbird. I had a Thunderbird for a little while, and I sold that, and the ass hat never finished the process of putting it in his name, and done some stupid shit. And then I had some people knocking on my door, and I'm like, I hadn't even seen that car in a year.
Right.
I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, your name is still, on the title. And I'm like, oh my God.
Good
That
Lord.
sucks.
Yeah, they do sue you for the property damage. Like,
Yeah.
this was
Well,
somebody's.
it wasn't a lawsuit. It was just like a ticket.
Yeah, they came after, like, my grandfather was the co-signer, right? Because I didn't have good credit. I was 18 when I bought that shit, right? So, he was the co-signer, and they went after him. And then he told my grandma about it, and my grandma told me what happened. I was like, oh shit. Like, really? We got to pay for the fucking telephone pole too? And I could, like, what are you going to do? Take the truck back?
Right.
The engine is in the fucking cab. Okay. Like, I got to see the truck. The engine was inside the cab. Okay. It broke the leaf springs in the back. It hit so hard because it shifted everything out the back, and the leaf springs broke. The bolts sheared off on the leaf springs, and so you know what that means. Picture this, Daniel. The whole differential a foot beyond the leaf springs.
Oh, yeah, that's Crunch City, brother. That's
Dude,
Crunch City.
I was like, and they said the craziest shit. They said the driver jumped out of the car, grabbed the beer out of the truck, and ran. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
Right.
God damn.
Was his name Mitchell?
Yeah,
No,
right.
his name was Mario, but Mitchell, if you're here, you better say
Yeah.
hi, because I'm about to call shots in the bowl.
Yeah, we just did a shot.
Yeah,
I'm not
no
scared.
shots for Mitchell. He didn't say shots.
I am.
Mitchell, we'll smoke. Oh damn! Sorry about that. The
No,
beer
you
hit
just
me.
said shots. Now you can't put that cat back in the bag.
Oh, I got shots ready.
I already reached
It's out
down.
there.
I got
Got
shots ready.
shots.
I'm good. Okay, do I have to put it in the
Where are
glass?
you digging those shots out of?
Do I have to put it in the glass or just drink it from the bottle?
Drink it from the bottle.
Okay.
Look, why not? I got a big bottle. That was a lot.
How many ounces is in 4 gulps?
Right?
I have to
Depends
figure
on
out
the
my
gulp.
shot count.
Depends on the gulp.
It wasn't double gulp, but it was a pretty big gulp.
Is it taking medicine gulp or is it like
No, who wants to take
porn
medicine?
star? Whoa.
Oh, dude, I can't do that. Like, I don't have the gag reflex. Like, no, but they're impressive. Just saying.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Daniel.
Whoa. All right.
I'm in there, D. I'm in there.
I know. Get out of my
in
head. Get out of it.
Get out of the
Scary
Secret Santa
place.
room. By the way, if you're not in our Discord, you should be.
Shame on you.
No.
You should be.
You should be
in our
but
Discord.
you shouldn't be.
Enter at your own risk.
So fucking real.
So far, apparently, our kids have said that we're weird.
Huh? Who said that?
So far, our kids think we're weird.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, he didn't say word. Well, did I say what he said?
Okay, go ahead.
Pervert. Because
yeah, we're all a room full of old ass perverts.
I've never seen so many old people that are perverts like your group.
Listen, he will be too if he's lucky.
It's not that we're the perverts.
No.
It's where all the funny anecdotes and stories and shit to say is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah.
It's when you get old enough that nobody can tell you shit, so you just get to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Like at this point in time, who's gonna lecture me? My kids? I don't think so. Right?
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Somebody sends you a sex toy.
What's the worst that could happen, too?
Moving on. Let's talk about another subject.
Hey Daniel, I'd like you to throw darts and see if you can hit the number 17, but I hear the wire may be bent. Are they all 17 today?
No. I can't wait for our next live stream so I can open that because I'm getting the idea it's not just a regular
We're gonna check,
and I can't wait to use it.
Let's check the inebriation level and see in 3 darts if Daniel could at least get Mitchell drunk.
And with 3 darts?
3 darts.
I'd have to throw 3 triples. I mean, I can
Whoa,
probably throw 3.
9?
I know I can throw 3 17s in a row, but throwing 3 triples in a row.
Can you hit it?
Y'all seen me drunk get hot.
Oh,
with darts.
okay. Listen.
But
if you throw a triple, a double, and a single, that counts for 10 shots. 1 of each, man.
All the pressure. I can't do that.
You know,
like I said, I could probably throw 3 17s, but I don't know if I can be that specific.
Did you guys hear that?
What?
No. I believe it was Mitchell screaming over in Discord.
Mitchell, stop it.
I think it was. I think he was saying, fuck you.
However, it is Mitchell's birthday. I will throw some 17s for his
All
birthday.
All right, perfect. That gives me time to figure out what the fuck I was supposed to be doing because I forgot. Oh, nothing. Okay, never mind. I'm good.
And I cannot hear y'all any longer, so be gentle.
Okay. He should have never said that.
All of y'all pay attention to Daniel right now, real quick. I want y'all to pay attention to Daniel real quick. Like, okay, we're gonna make Daniel the big one here.
Okay, you just made you the big one.
No, we're gonna switch it.
There you go.
Everybody notice something. Daniel.
He can't hear you.
I did get a double and a triple.
Okay, double and a triple for Mitch. Here we go.
6 darts. I got a double and a triple.
Okay. Daniel, question for you.
Yeah.
If you turn around right now, is your dartboard to the left or to the right? To the right of you?
My left, yeah, my left.
Your left.
Well, my right if I'm facing you, but if I'm facing the dartboard, it's my
Because
left.
I just realized something.
Yeah, I know. I
In
noticed it
your
a couple
live
weeks ago.
stream, your camera's flipped.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed that a couple weeks
Because
ago.
right now, you just threw darts
Mhm.
and you're next to us.
Yeah.
And other nights, you're on the left side of the screen.
Uh-huh.
Huh. Oops.
That's why a couple weeks ago
Oh
when
God, Red says that you have performance anxiety and there seems to be a lot of loose denim in them jeans.
Oh,
I told you I ain't got no ass. My back goes right down my legs.
I don't have any.
I'm an old white guy. I don't have an ass.
I lost half my ass in the first divorce and the second half in the second. I ain't got no ass. I need suspenders.
I noticed the thing about the door a couple weeks ago though. When he left
Uh-huh.
the room, he went out the door by the dartboard.
Right.
And when you're watching on the live stream, that's the bathroom. So I was like, oh, he went to take a pee and he didn't even tell us. We could have all taken a bath.
Nope. It's
And
just,
Kenny goes, no, he went to get a drink. And I'm like, oh, it's backwards. Okay.
yep.
I'll have to fix that. I did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did
there you
not
go.
know.
Okay, I was just wondering because it looked
Where
different.
do I
I'm
fix
like,
that in our YouTube live stream? I don't even know.
you'll have to in your fucking camera settings tell it to fucking mirror the camera.
But it's not backwards in the live stream on YouTube.
Right.
So I don't know why it is here.
It's backwards here. You need to do that here.
Oh, it's backwards here. Wait,
Yeah.
can I do that here? Is there somewhere I can do that here?
Podcast is mirrored. Check your camera settings and say not mirrored.
Okay, I think you're gonna have to tell him how to do that.
Whatever. Like,
No,
I'm not.
I gotta
guy
go.
Here. Am I
That's-
that guy here?
Oh,
too?
he knows. He knows.
Here we go.
Mother turd.
It's this that's backwards. Okay. Because when he said, yeah, on my left, I'm like, no, that's right. No, it's
Yeah.
left when I'm looking.
I
It's
know.
like, gotcha. Okay, here's
Yeah.
where we're backwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, a couple weeks ago for me, it was the bathroom versus the bedroom door.
Huh. Well. Hey there, buddy. Talking there, buddy. All right, now.
I don't know where it is. Hang on. It's like,
Are you seriously not giving me?
no, go to settings and then it's like under video and then like turn the mirror off. Like, look, if I mirror it, oh shit.
I'm actually in my camera. I'm in my camera settings.
Dude, I'm in a loop and I'm flipping.
And
I'm flipping.
And it's backwards. I'm backwards in it and right in one. That is fucked up. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So there's that thing. Don't do that like I did because I probably gave somebody a
seizure.
Sorry if I did. Come back. I stopped.
They're having
doing
a seizure. How they can't hear you say you're sorry.
Whatever. Like, I'm done. Get over it. Come on. Get back in here. Jeez. Where's Mitch?
Oh God, man! Ever since I got this fucking Windows 11 update, everything is in a different.
Dude,
It's weird, isn't it?
Settings.
Yeah.
It is. I'm in my goddamn settings. Kidding.
You see video? Do you see video in the settings box?
Oddly
Kenny,
enough.
are you in Restream or are you
No.
in Microsoft
Restream.
Windows?
In Restream.
In
Oh,
Restream.
in Restream.
Yeah,
that's
that
what I
part.
thought.
That part.
That's what I thought.
That
That's why I
part.
asked.
Okay.
Okay, go down there to your settings, click on it,
Bam.
click on your video, and click the mirror shit. There you go. Woohoo!
There you go.
Finally,
Did it.
you
Oh.
piss on the right side. Thank God. I
Yeah,
was
it
worried
was
you were
good to
going to
me
piss
too.
on your bedroom door if you didn't flip this.
But the funny thing is, when I turn my camera that way, for some reason, it makes my face look sideways to me.
Oh,
It flips
whatever.
it for me and makes it look sideways.
Wait, your hat. Wait, no. Listen. Hang on. This side. Twist your hat counterclockwise. No, not side. No.
Right there.
Okay,
Right there.
Perfect.
That's
Don't
perfect
move
right
it.
there.
No.
Don't
Okay.
touch
No.
the lighting.
Okay, leave it. Hands off the light.
And that's actually something I hate when we do our reaction videos because I see it flipped, and
Oh.
I can tell when my face is flipped, and it. I'm not looking at my mirror image. I'm looking at my mirror flipped image, and it's fucking with me.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's fucking with me.
Grog make
I'm about to
fire good. What?
Oh.
Rommel. Listen, next year at Secret Santa,
No, don't keep doing it.
Can I at least give you a size preference?
Kenny,
What?
What?
I was talking to Rommel, not
I
you
know
guys.
you were, but that wasn't very nice.
What?
He said, Rumble, next year at Secret Santa, can I give you a size preference?
Yeah, like I want extra large pizza. Don't give me a small one. I mean, it ain't that
Don't-
much more.
Don't tell off what hasn't been said.
What got told off? Who got told off and who said something?
It meant nothing.
It means nothing.
I'm
I'm just saying, look, you don't have to order me a personal pan pizza. You can get me the extra large. Remember,
Why did you turn your camera back?
All right, Kenny. Kenny.
Remember
Since
personal
you said
pan
I can
pizzas?
get you the extra large, I'm gonna find the biggest dong that the fucking sex toy industry makes, and I'm gonna send it to you next year.
Whoa,
I'll give you
I
the
didn't
extra
want a
large, buddy.
dong. I didn't want a dong. I
No.
wanted something that wirelessly charges. Never mind.
Oh,
Why did you move your
hey.
camera back, Daniel? You flipped it back around. Why?
Because what it did to what I see of me made me look like this funhouse mirror, and it was fucking with me.
Okay, so in order for Daniel to hang out with us, he has to be backwards. It's
Apparently. Apparently.
he needs to
Lord.
back into this podcast to show up.
Seriously, I don't know when it flipped for y'all. I guess it flipped for me, and everything just. I'm serious. It looked like I was looking at a funhouse mirror, and I was like, and in my mind, that's what y'all are seeing, whether that's what y'all are seeing or not. But it looked fucking. I was like, is that what I fucking look like? That's not right. That's not right. My jaw's kind of over here, and my hat's all cocked funny. What the fuck is going on,
Dude, look. I watched my original reactions when I first started my channel, right? I was so fidgety because I kept looking at myself in the camera, and then I realized stop doing that shit. Right? Just look at the
Well, fuck
camera.
with you.
Just look at because you look at yourself and you're like, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Because shit starts looking crooked, right?
Wait, hang on. Is my headphones too far? Wait, let me put it over the center. Okay, here we go. All right,
Ask Jocelyn.
You go crazy
in our next
seeing
live
yourself
stream.
on
Ask
camera.
Jocelyn how many times a night I ask why my beard looks sideways.
Okay.
She'll
No,
tell you.
I'm going to type it.
It's that
This is
same
what I'm
thing.
going to type in. Jocelyn, does Daniel's beard look sideways to you?
Right.
She'll know what you're talking about. I bitch about it almost every time we do reaction. I'm
look,
because I look at it and I'm like, is this what they're saying? Why do I look all?
Hang on, I got a plan. I see how much you need and how much I need. Okay, I don't need the whole thing, but most of it. You need a little of it. 1 tube of Just for Men beard color, and we're good. Both of us, like you won't see the white
I
no
got
more.
stripes here.
Yeah, but
and
don't
I'm
do that.
getting all Peter Cottontail over here.
Oh no, listen, I'm not.
Don't do that. I think it's sexy to see a man's beard with some gray in it.
Nah,
For
fuck
me,
that. Fuck that. I took my wife's eye. I took my wife's
You
fucking
took her
shit.
fucking eye. Goddamn,
No.
Kenny.
What's that shit? I'm not. I don't know. No, I will later. All right, look. What's that shit that you put on your eyelashes? What's that shit called?
mascara.
Yeah, I put that shit all over my beard one time so that it didn't show white. Like I ain't even fucking lying. I am vain as a motherfucker. Look, it looks like I got patches. There's hair everywhere. It's a lot of it's white, and I need to like.
I'm actually. I'm not. It's funny to me because my hair up here hasn't started graying yet, but in my beard and especially this area right here of my chest. But I'm not minding so far. The streaks I have like kind of these, while it's like that, it almost kind of gives a cool look. But dude, look, there's this old man down the road, and he uses that Just for Men. And you kind of know those stains that girls that do their own dye jobs, they get those same stains on their. And I'm like, I can tell that you just got some shit on your face, and I'm not going to look.
Listen,
like
can I just say that the minute that the carpet turns gray, it's a wrap. I'm done. Like I don't need to be around.
That was going to be my question. Do pubes turn gray?
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
I hate to
In
even
fact,
say it, but they do.
much to my
Yes.
chagrin.
Yes. Like shoe black.
Look,
Okay, look. I'm willing
I
to
get
do
these
that.
white hairs in my eyebrows. It's just
I
like
haven't
when
gotten
Sister
that yet.
Golden, and they'll like if I don't pay attention to them, the motherfuckers will get
They
like
get
17
wild.
Look,
inches long.
Yeah.
you
They're
are
thick, and you can
old.
pull them out. And it's like you rip
No,
your
you,
fucking
no,
eye out.
don't pull them
Welcome
out.
to a woman's world. What do you think we do? We pluck our
Don't
eyebrows all the time.
don't pull them out. And here's why: when you pull one out,
Here's
two
why.
will grow in its place.
But the problem is, I have
That's
one
insulted.
eyebrow that's so
That's
white
insulted.
people can see
I'm a
it sticking out to here.
cosmetologist. Pull one out, you will get two coming out of that area in the same area every time. It's I like what is it though about humans that one particular hair out of all of your eyebrows grows to be like 2 inches, right?
That's what
And
I'm
the
talking
rest
about, man.
of them are my uncle. I had to cut his hair, so like I'm like I'm not gonna leave him with that one like antenna sticking out the front when he's walking around. So I had to cut, and it's like I'm cutting the rest of his hair. It's like bzz, bzz, bzz. I get to that whisker on his head, and it's like bzz, like
Yeah.
what is that one? Why is that one that big? Right?
Was it
I
Walter
have that
Matthau?
same
Was
shit.
it Walter Matthau that had the wild eyebrows?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
In Grumpy
Yeah,
Old
Walter
Men.
Matthau.
Grumpy
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
Men. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and ear hair. Like
Oh, yeah.
I'm worried about that. Like I had to cut my uncle's hair. He's like, much older than me. He's 88 right now, right? So like I had to cut his hair and I looked at that like, God damn, that's what's gonna happen to me soon. Right?
Man,
Like
it hasn't been a couple of weeks ago. Y'all know I have gauges in my ears, right?
Yep.
So I was taking out the little clear ones I use for work and was putting in my tunnels
Wait,
for the
hang
live
on,
show.
hang on.
And I'm putting in the tunnel, and all of a sudden I'm like,
Wait.
and it was a fucking attached to my earlobe.
What
I thought at first it was my hair. No, it was and one of them big white hairs right there. And I
wait.
was like, "Purr!" And that shit put tears in my eyes, man. It freaking hurt.
You said you had
Strung
gay
a guitar with
you
that
had
motherfucker.
you said you had gay J's in your ear? What?
Gauges.
Oh, okay. Whatever. My hearing's old. Like, I heard something different. It's okay. It sounded like you
Can't
said,
tell. I got my clear ones in that I use for work. You almost can't even tell they're there.
oh my God. I have pictures because I did that. Like mine were 3/8 of an inch gauged. And I took them out 7 years ago and they're still not closed. Like I can't put a regular earring in there because it'll fall through. Like if I put a stud in there, it'll fall right through. But man, I remember doing
Mine
that
try to
gauging.
close. Like I take them out. Like when I work, these that I use for work, they're clear and they're acrylic. And all week when I work, even I try to be good about cleaning behind my ears, but they'll get this kind of smell to them. Funny enough, the metal ones don't do that as much as the acrylic ones, but I'll take those out and I'll wash my ears and then I'll go, when I shower, and then I'll go to put in my tunnels. And just that time, as long as I've had them, I have to fight with my tunnels a little bit to get them in. Mine tried to super close. Of course,
I don't mean to be an
as a guy that
idiot.
used to, at one time, I had 20 something piercings at one time. So what?
I don't mean to be an idiot. Can you explain to me what gauges and tunnels are? I don't know what you're talking about.
Gauges. So it's the size of the opening in the hole, basically the size of the jewelry that goes in. And so it's used like numerical gauges like they use for electrical wire, 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 16 gauge, things like that.
Right? I got twos in right now. If you go by that, that's actually I can tell you what that is by inch or millimeter, but I can't.
The higher the number in gauge, the thinner it is, the smaller it is. The bigger the number till you get to 0 gauge, and then you get to what they call 00, and then all of a sudden it goes into
double alt,
and then you go into the 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, that kind of thing.
But is it like an earring or is it like a bar?
The smaller gauges are bars usually.
Mine is big enough to where I actually get a tunnel that goes through my ears, so you see a hole.
Yeah.
Uh,
And what they do,
Oh.
it's a hollow piece that goes in and then has a backing that screws on. And
Oh.
so there's an opening in the middle of it because the
Okay.
hole is
actually,
big enough to
mine
do that.
that's the irritating thing about mine is the tunnels that I have actually don't have a screw on. I have those
Do you
skull
have the
ones, but
tapered?
they have no. It's not even tapered. You just kind of have to fight. Like much like these clear
Ow!
ones. Oh look, these clear ones I have. They're
Didn't
just
that
a
tear?
saddle. Can I
Didn't
get
that
this in the camera?
tear?
They're just a saddle. You have to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
over the
yeah.
big piece. Yeah.
Yep.
You got to get the big piece through to get to the
Yeah, yeah.
And
But your skull
those
ones are
fucking tunnels are metal and the edges are sharp and they can be a pain in the ass.
Yep. But it's like unfortunately with piercing, it's the same thing as tattooing. If you get one, you want more.
Yep. Like I
As
said, I
soon
had
as
20 something.
as soon as you forget what it feels like, you want more.
Yep. Yep.
Right? Like
I actually sat down to get one nipple pierced on a dare, and I really didn't want to do it. At this time, I had piercings all in my ears. I had 2 eyebrow rings, man. I had a tongue ring and a nose ring, I had a labret. And they stuck my nipple, and I sat there, breathing heavy for a second, and I was like, while we're here, you want to get that other one? That's exactly how I wound up with both of them. I sat down to get one on a dare, and I was like, well, and what's funny is being a piercer myself, I apprenticed tattoos, and I can run tattoos, but my strength was piercing. I did piercings for the shop for a long time, and I did most of my wife's piercings. And I actually joked with her one night because of the whole how I wound up wanting both my nipples pierced. I was like, yeah, one night I want you to crawl on top of me, and I want you to seat me just right. Then I want you to pierce my nipple. And she's like, oh my God. I was like, I'm only kind of kidding. So
Do you still do piercings and stuff?
I do. I did my daughter's belly, and I recently did Jocelyn's lip. And yeah, I can. She's wanting me to do it on the side because I'm certified and I was a master piercer. That means I've done over so many. And I was at one time the guy that I apprenticed under developed a very serious meth addict, and I was supporting the shop. He wouldn't let me run ink. Because I could run ink, but he didn't want me running his shop completely. So he would just leave during the day. He said, you can do all the piercings you want, just don't run no ink. And I kept that shop afloat for a very long time. I would do piercings just back to back to back to back to back. It was always so funny. What the people that talked the most shit is the people that would hit the floor. This one girl talked so much shit, and I felt bad for this girl because she had been in the tanning bed a lot, and that's not recommended before a piercing. Your skin gets tough. And usually, this was what I was famous for. I would start doing what I do. I would run my mouth. I would look them in the eye and I'd get everything set up to where all I had to do was push the needle. And I would engage them in a conversation and make them forget why they were even sitting there. And 9 times out of 10, I could pierce them and they wouldn't even know it. Not this girl. I thought I was literally going to have to get up and stand on that needle to get it to go through this girl's skin. I was almost at a panic point because I'm like, I'm kind of past the point of I was like, I am past the point of no return. I've got to get this needle through this girl. And her friend is back there just talking smack, man. She's going to pass out. Ha, ha, ha. She's going to pass out. Let me tell you what, that little girl handled that shit. That little girl handled that shit like a trooper. We finally got that shit through there, got her set. And I was like, next time you come see me for a piercing, don't hit the tanning bed first.
Right.
And anyway, the other girl sat down and I wiped her with the little the alcohol pad.
Mm-hmm.
It
really
out she went. Out she went. I'm like, you the one was talking all the shit. And I've seen it even with tattoos, man. I've seen the biggest, baddest motherfuckers walk in there and cry like a little fucking girl. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me, dude? Come on.
On the one on my forearm,
I get off. I kind of get off on it. Listen to the hum of the gun.
On the one on my forearm, I had to drive an hour away to get the tattoo, right? And he was working on it, and he's like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." And he kept going, and he says, "Are you sure you're good?" And I said, "I'm fine." And he goes, "A lot of people tap out by now." And I looked at him and I said, "I am not willing to drive home and drive back an hour again tomorrow for you to finish this, get her done.
Yeah.
Right.
And he said that people tend to tap out between 3 and 3.5 hours, and I went 5 hours and 40 minutes. Like, I'm fuck that, just get it done. I'm here to get the work done.
Right.
I want
Right.
to see the end result, not half the result.
Every
know?
tattoo I've gotten, I have been sad that it was over, except these that we have on our side, which is actually mine and Jocelyn's wedding rings, these symbols that we have matching tattoos on our side.
That dude,
We went to this girl. We went to this girl that was highly recommended, but what we didn't know is that in a certain amount of time, she had also found herself into a meth habit. And I'm gonna tell you what, that girl, anybody that knows anything about running ink, man, she literally stopped the fucking gun in my skin. Just bogged it
Oh.
down. You don't right. You
Oh.
don't dig that hard in a tattoo, man. You don't do that. Oh, yeah. And she eventually it's almost a bad we keep saying one day we're going to go to a real tattoo guy and get these fixed and polished and some shit done with them, but
Real
also at the same time their imperfection, it's almost become like a badge of honor between me and her or something, because we both endured some fucking shit for that motherfucker. If that didn't signify that we loved each other, what else?
The most painful one for me was not the biggest one, and it only took an hour and a half, but it was done without a gun. It was done by this Tibetan monk dude, where he was
the hammer and needle.
Bamboo
painful.
skewer rubbed onto a rock,
Yeah.
dipped in the ink, and then stabbed in over and over and over again. And
there is actually one of those that I would actually like to get, and I say I'm going to get it one day. And then there's one where they like the Polynesians with the hammer and the bone.
Have you
There's one
seen
of
the one?
those I would like to get.
I don't know about the hammer and the bone, but the hammer and the rake wouldn't bother me as bad, because I think it would get done quicker, because the rake has like what, 8 micro needles or like 10 micro needles across it. But this was the experience. Wouldn't trade it for the world. But let's be real, that tattoo would have taken 20 minutes with a gun. Right. It was like, and it made me really think that, like, in other places, that's how they do it. For us, we got it made. We got these guns that with all these interchangeable needles that do the work so fast and so clean and so precise. And over there, like, I literally felt the pressure of the guy's hand every time he stabbed the needle into me.
Kenny, you'll appreciate this. You know who the Undertaker is, right?
Yeah.
Well, his wife, actually not anymore, but at the time he married this woman named Sarah. And he's married to Michelle McCool now. And but anyway, he had Sarah tattooed right here with the hammer and oh my god. And I mean, y'all know who the Undertaker is. He's a real life bad dude. That's not just a persona. He's a tough motherfucker. And he said, "I'm gonna tell you what, man." He's like, "I'm gonna tell you what. I had to be held during that." He said that shit. He said, "I'm not a crybaby." I'm like, "Look at what I fucking do for a living." But that shit, he said that shit fucking hurt because it's right here.
Yep.
I have on my right hip, I have the longitude and latitude coordinates for Madison Square. Sorry, not Madison Square Garden, Times Square. Because I'm obsessed with New York City. So I go in to have my hysterectomy, like 3 summers ago. And they get me in there. I'm already passed out, Doctor's getting ready to start surgery. And she sees my tattoo. And she goes, "Stop. Somebody Google." And she read off the longitude and latitude coordinates. And of course, it came up Times Square. So after my surgery, she comes into the recovery room, to check on me. And she goes, "Do you know that you have the longitude, latitude coordinates for Times Square on your hip?" Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a random.
She goes, "I had to stop the surgery so I could know what it was."
That's cool.
Okay, that wasn't dangerous.
Right.
You just actually gave me an idea for a tattoo, because I've always said, and it's actually not that expensive, but one thing I wanted to do for my girls, they have this thing. It's sponsored through NASA, but they charter. I mean, there's so many millions of stars out there that don't have names yet. You can pay about $75, and they'll name a star after you or someone. I'm gonna get both my daughters' stars named after them. I was just thinking that'd be a cool tattoo to then get the
Yeah. The longitude, or I don't know if
uh,
that's what you call it in space.
whatever whatever constellation they're close to or whatever. Get it done
Yeah.
on you. Yeah, that would be neat. That would be neat.
mean,
I'm gonna get something for my daughters put on me eventually.
I'm gonna get.
I hadn't decided what yet.
If I get anything done again, the next thing will be the back of my hands. I've been waiting to do it, and
Jocelyn is in love with the idea of me doing that. She just thinks that's the sexiest.
I want to do the "Don't Tread on Me" on one hand and "Made in the USA" on the other.
on
The
the back
icon
of your hand.
Yeah,
the icon that I use on Discord. That's what I want to get that right here.
Oh, nice. Yep. I just
and better
like,
work than this bullshit.
Dude, that shit's gonna hurt on the back of my hand, but I ain't gonna tap out. Like, it is what it is. If I say do both at once, do both at once. Because
I don't know if this works for anybody else, but I focus. It's almost. I won't say sexual for me, but I focus. It's almost like a meditation. I zero in on the hum of the gun, and I almost get zen with it. And I don't even feel, except for when that bitch dug in me like she was trying to get to China. I don't feel the needle. I mean, I get into that, and I don't know, man. I zen with it, and it's a dude, man. Some of the tats I have now, because I worked at a tat shop, were drunk late night. Hey, you work for me, so I'll give you a free tat while I'm fucked up. Ink. If I had known then what I know now, the back piece I want would be incredible. But I don't think I can get it now because it would be very difficult to cover what's there. Like my tattoo shop's logo is there, and I got a dragon. The first thing I ever got from a Wiccan priestess. Yep, that bitch was psycho.
When I got my tattoo, I was a pussy.
Oh, were you?
Oh yeah, I didn't cry, but like the guy, he was doing New York City. He was doing NYC at the bottom, and he started with the first line of the end, and I'm like, "Are you done?" He's like,
Yeah, because I've had a lot, and I know it doesn't matter how sensitive the area is. It's the same thing. It starts out, it hurts, and then it goes into a burn. And when it goes into a burn, like all you feel is the burn on the skin, then you can zone out on that part. You have to get through the pain part to where it just feels like a burn. And once you're there, you could stay there for a long time. I mean, people don't, they'll look at tattoos and go, I don't think I can do one that big. No, if you get to that point where you're not thinking about that it's painful, you're just zoning out on that burn part, you could endure. I would love to do a back piece, but I also know how much time that entails, and I know that there's some really sensitive areas. You were talking, Danny, about your side, and that back portion on the side would be very, very.
The worst part for me was I had fallen a few years earlier and actually tore my side open on a filing cabinet. And it was one thing that she was digging, but when she would dig like that across that scar, oh my God, even for me, I was like, okay, damn it. That's a bit much. That's a bit much.
Okay, I love Tom McDonald. You know how much I love him. And I love all the guys that are with him. If I was to ever interview him, so Tom, if you're watching, the very first question I would ask is, how painful was it to get those dollar signs on your eyelids?
That probably stung.
It hurts like a motherfucker. My uncle
imagine?
My uncle had the inside of his eyelids tattooed.
Oh God. I used to say I didn't want to get face tattoos like that, but when I was in full blown, when we played, when my job was playing on stage for a living, what I wanted to get was some tribal fucking blacklight
Mm.
ink, and I was gonna mount on our little light truss on the front. I was gonna mount a black light that would hit me and make that on my face pop during shows. I never got it done though.
Can I
Now,
just mention a really cool tattoo real quick? Not quite like blacklight ink, but our singer had a tattoo of the Incredible Hulk bent over on all fours with Jessica Rabbit standing behind with their heels shoved up his ass.
Ooh,
The other arm had a 6
little
inch
that's a
femdom
walking.
little
action.
aggressive.
The other arm had a
That's some
6 inch.
femdom shit right there.
Yeah.
The other arm had a 6 inch
Dominatrix.
walking penis, and the feet came out of the testicles, and there were arms coming out of the shaft like that.
Just for that.
You know the DRI guy, right? You know the DRI symbol?
D, that
He
was
had-
just for the face you made.
Yeah,
Let me
oh,
specify.
well,
Okay.
that was wild.
His eyebrows were
We were talking. Oh, my
vibrating.
aunts back in the. I want to say it was probably the 50s. Apparently, the craze then was to get eyeliner tattooed on your
Yes.
eyelids. Hell
Tammy Faye
no.
Baker.
Hell no.
Tammy Faye Baker got her eyebrows tattooed on.
Oh,
She just had her
But your
eyebrows permanently
eyelids.
removed and then
Your
tattooed on.
I mean, oh,
The one that
I'm
gets me is the one on the inside of the lip. That one, for some reason, intrigues me. I'm not fixing to run out and get one.
I don't think it would hurt
intrigues
that
me,
bad.
but I'm sitting there thinking,
I
God,
don't think it would hurt as
Yeah.
bad. I don't think it would hurt as bad as, say, like your very lower back area.
oh, I think that'd be fine. That's tramp stamp area.
Yeah, tramp stamp area is like that's very sensitive down there. You could bite your lip, and that's worse than getting a tattoo. Like you
It
get
is,
a tattoo in there, biting your
Really?
lip.
Because I've wanted to
We
get
had
a
a
tramp
girl-
stamp for years. And
We had
Jamie
a-
says, no, you will not get a tramp stamp at 53 years old.
Yeah,
Fine.
we had this girl, all these biker rallies that we would play. There was this girl they called the Wild Thing, and she was Native American, and she had this long, like raven black hair that was perfectly straight, and she wore leather and boots to the nines, and she was just a bad bitch, and she had a lot of ink
the lip liner.
already. Anyway, she came in and had Jerry put a symbol on the inside of her thigh, and I'm talking almost right where almost right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Look,
get it.
that was a tough bitch, and she fucking squalled like an infant during that. And I was like, man, I know that's got to be a fucking awful place to be getting that. I mean, if she walks out of this, yeah, she's a bad bitch because that shit sucks. I promise you.
My uncle Rick tattooed red and blue stripes along his cock like a barber pole.
Oh, God.
And I said that takes
I
a
know
sick.
that.
And I said that takes a sick motherfucker to tattoo that. And he says it takes a sicker motherfucker to keep it hard while they're doing it.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that
Right?
it's got to be hard.
Uh-huh.
I said I can handle a piercing there over a tattoo because the piercing is quick and over, and
Right.
I can then go.
No, I don't want
but
either.
to sit there for a tattoo, oh my God, I don't know that I can do that.
I dated
I consider
a guy.
myself a pretty bad dude as far as my pain tolerance, but that's
Yeah.
I
that's
dated a guy
stretching.
that had a bar through his scrotum.
Dude, my boy Adam
And I never understood that because I don't think it would bring him extra pleasure, would it? I don't know.
our bass
My
player
wife read
Adam,
about a dido piercing. Look that up. A dido piercing.
Oh, I know that one.
She's got the idea,
There
and
it
it's supposed to enhance my pleasure. But I'm like, you're
No.
realizing where you're wanting me to let them stick a needle, right?
Yeah,
No.
I know.
I'll do
Yeah.
the tattoo on the back of the hand. How about and then we'll call it even.
Our bass player did a Prince Albert top and bottom, and then had the little metal balls inserted underneath the skin throughout. Yeah,
Nice.
that whole general area. But what was funny was his chick said she wanted the first Prince Albert, right? So he does it, and then they tell you no fooling around for 6 months. At 5 months, she said she wanted the second Prince Albert. 4 months later, she wanted the balls put in. So I said, basically, your chick's been having you shove metal through your dick so you don't have to fuck her. Right? Like, dude,
Right.
Right?
like you ain't getting none. How is this pleasurable at any point in time?
Do you know? I tried to play checkmate with Jocelyn because she reads these fucking smut books, man, and
No,
the
they're
idea
good.
of that piercing for a second kind of tickled her fancy, and she's like, I think that would be so hot, and I'm like,
Through the scrotum?
no, the
Oh.
dido piercing,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
again, it's one that's
Okay.
actually supposed to enhance pleasure for the male
Right.
too, but it also has a high rate of growing out, and I'm like, I'm not going to get
Really?
that, and then it just grow out, but my
Yeah.
my point being,
I'm
the
already
deal breaker for
cringing.
her, and this was her deal breaker. This was her deal breaker, not mine. Was that I was going to have to go at least 6 months without having sex, and then at least another 3 to 4 with a condom.
Right.
And she was like, "No, we're not waiting to do that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
I'm not
my
arguing
friends,
with you."
I'm sure our bass player's girlfriend just didn't want to do it no more because, like, there's no reason to, like, make it go that long for a bunch of pain for nothing.
Yep. I'm gonna try to get her to do another piercing on me. She did my second eyebrow. I placed it for her and did everything. All she had to do was put the needle
Okay.
through it. You should have seen Jocelyn. She was like, "Are you sure you want me to do this?" I'm like, "Go
course.
ahead. I've got it. All you gotta do, you can't miss. It's in the forceps. All you gotta do is put that needle through that thing, and it's gonna go through my
Yep.
eyelid, and we're fine. My eyebrow, and we're fine." And she's like, "But it's
Nope.
gonna hurt." I'm like, "I just pierced you where the sun don't shine. You worried about my eye? Come on now."
What
She
if they
wouldn't do
miss
it.
and hit your eye?
She wouldn't do it.
Well, then
Martin,
why?
what's up?
She actually did come through a little bit
None of
and,
your
dot
business.
me. When she came through, she was
Yeah.
shaking and she came and just kind of like the needle just dotted me right there, just a little
Yeah.
poke. It was fine though. She was nervous.
With as crazy as I went,
I loved it.
with as crazy as I went with that shit, dude, I actually got pierced at one point in time with 24 karat tongue ring, nipple rings,
Oh.
and then my ass got incarcerated, and that shit got infected like a motherfucker. And that was the last time I ever got, because I had already done it twice. Like, it's not, I got incarcerated once.
Right.
They took it out, I had to go pierce it again. Scar tissue sucks. Like, really does. Like, getting tattooed over a tattoo area does not hurt like getting pierced over a pierced area. That's a different level of pain.
And Jocelyn asked me to redo one of hers that had a lot of scar tissue. And oh god, man, some of the nice crunchy sounds that came as I put that needle through her, I was like, oh my god, man.
Hey, is it firing the whole time? Because it's like a 20. It's like a 20 somewhere.
22. You're 2 minutes late.
No, it says 7:20.
I'm thinking it's
Oh,
time for a
7:21.
a shot.
Hang on, I'll
And
get
then
a shot.
I've actually got to go pour me another drink too. Or maybe I can text my beautiful wife to play Vanna White for me for just a second and come fix me a drink.
And he drops it.
Or she'll play
just so
Pat
you know.
Sajak.
Just so you know, this is my special cigarette. So
yeah, that thing never goes down. It's a different type of cigarette.
Not in this house.
That's what she said.
That's what I would say. Not in this house.
Good Lord, is it charged?
Not yet. 4 to 5 hours.
Bueller.
Oh.
Bueller. Then we won't see you for 3 to 4 hours.
Bueller.
Oh, whatever.
Bueller.
I'm getting there.
Bueller.
All right. I think I'm gonna have to watch that now. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
When Cameron was in Egypt's land.
What are you talking about?
Cameron go.
That's
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's what that is. I remember that part.
Wait,
it's when Cameron's laying there in bed. When Ferris first calls Cameron, he's sick and he's laying there in bed, and Ferris is wanting to get up and do shit, and he feels awful. He don't want to do it, so he's like comparing himself to the slaves in Egypt, because he's dramatic that way. And then he's sitting in his car, and he's like, he's trying to talk himself out of going, but he knows if he does, he's sitting there in his car mad because he's like, he'll keep calling me till I come over. I'm not going. Shit. And he's like, ah! And of course, he winds up going because he's Cameron. He's the sidekick. Ferris Bueller is another one of those movies that I could recite backwards. I love that fucking movie. So that's how it is in their family.
Red, I'm just gonna say to Red, how in the hell you knew that I was Googling that? I do not know, but thank you.
Wake up! I'm awake. Wake up, little Susie.
No, you guys
wake
were talking about, folks. This is where my the way I grew up in a very protective environment comes out. You guys were talking about Dido?
Dido, yeah.
Okay. I was trying to be sneaky and Google it because I don't know what it is.
You're not that sneaky. You're not that sneaky.
I've
been waiting. I knew you already. I figured you already had it up.
And I didn't know how to spell
That's
it.
funny.
So I typed it in and it wasn't right. So I thought, oh, fuck it. I'll just look it up later. And then she texted me the right way to spell it. Oh,
so
Red.
feast your eyes on that.
I will later.
I hope you got the
right
illustration, not the actual modeled demonstration.
No, because I was spelling it like dodo. That's the how you
I'll be right
spell
back.
it. Okay.
Oh, good Lord. Hey, it is really weird with the bedroom being backwards in here, huh?
I know. I don't like it. And like I said, I noticed it a couple
y'all
weeks
that
ago.
are watching, what do you think? During the
I
live
think he needs
stream,
to switch
is
it.
it? Yeah, because it's like he keeps going to the bathroom, but he's not.
I know. That's why I said that one week. I'm like, oh, he went on a bathroom break. He couldn't have told us, so he could have peed. You're like, no, he went to get a drink. And I'm like, in the bathroom?
Sweet. Oh man. All right, look. Wally's not here.
Mm-hmm. What do we say?
Goonie goo goo.
Too bad it's recording. We could talk about him. And he wouldn't know.
Well,
Will he go back and watch it?
He'll see it.
Oh, damn.
Wait, none of your business. Who are you?
I can't see the live. I've been trying to get my phone to work.
Wait, I don't know who that is because he's like saying my name, like, how you doing, my buddy? Who is it? Give me a clue. You realize this is a loud, drunk asshole podcast, and by now I might be drunk.
Yeah, who is none of your business?
I don't know.
Huh.
So,
some random YouTube viewer or a bot.
Oh no. You notice I had to change right before we did the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a green screen and I was wearing camo.
Right, and you were wearing you were.
I was like, I'm gonna be like halfway disappeared and shit.
Yeah. Just see your head floating.
And for those of you who don't see it, this hoodie right here says "Wolves Among Sheep." If you go watch Chris Webby, Raw Thoughts 5, look at the hoodie. And this comes from a fight club out of LA. And when I saw the hoodie on the video, I was like, that is so dope. And then I found out where it was from. And I was like, that is even doper. So I got it. So that's what I'm wearing today.
No promotions have been paid or agreements made for the.
Look, I'm still trying to get an endorsement deal from Coors Light or any liquor company.
Oh, Lord.
Any liquor, not wine, fuck wine, but like any liquor company. You know, it could be like Jim, James, I don't give a fuck, Elijah.
JP Weiser.
Fucking Jameson, Maker's Mark. Pendleton would be nice.
Zima.
Are they still in business?
Bring back Zima and we'll promote it on here like crazy.
No, we will not.
She wants a Zima endorsement.
No, we will
my
not.
wife, my wife actually liked Zima, and
Oh, I love it.
when they were all the rage, I really tried, but I mean, I didn't hate it, but I just wasn't in
Okay,
love with it enough
can I ask what?
to
Can I
get
ask you a
them
question?
regularly.
What the fuck was it? Because it was clear.
It was a malt liquor.
No,
was a
wasn't malt liquor.
Yeah, it
If
was.
you have you ever tasted real malt liquor? It's called
I don't know.
Schlitz or Old English. Like there is a different taste to that shit. It makes you want to beat people up and steal
Okay,
Oh,
cars.
Google.
all right, y'all know Colt
Is
45, right?
Zima a malt liquor?
Uh-huh.
Old school Saturday Night Live used to do this skit, and they had their own malt liquor, and it was called Cold Cock. And they would have Billy D. Williams every once in a while on it. But I'm trying to remember the black guy, something Shepherd, I think was his name, would always do the character. It's Cold Cock. Anyway, it would always like he'd be in a bar and some girl would come up to him and he was the fly guy, man. All the women wanted to be with him. He was the man. He was the machismo. He was the sex. And the girl would walk up to him and go,
God.
"What malt liquor should I get?" And he's like, "Betty, you need to drink Cold Cock." And a little animated strong arm would come off the bottle and punch the girl in the face, and her hair would be all fucked up and shit. And she goes, "Ooh, Cold Cock, you won malt liquor picker."
Oh my god.
That
And
shit.
you thought Bush Light was a terrible advertisement. That was terrible.
Dude, Bush
But like I
Light
said,
is
it was a
Bush Light
Saturday
is
Night
funny
Live
as fuck.
skit making fun of
Yeah.
Colt 45. But it is fucking hilarious. Cold Cock. Ooh, you won serious malt liquor picker.
Okay, so Kenny,
Yo.
let me read this to you from Google. Anyone who was conscious during the 1990s heard about Zima. The
Mhm.
clear malt liquor hit the market in 1994.
Right. And like this dude who is my
I was
guitar
in
teacher
college.
at my store invited me over to his house to have dinner and gave me Zima. And he gave me
Mhm.
2 of them. And I didn't it just tasted like citrusy shit and it didn't
Yeah.
and I didn't get drunk.
Okay, the key for Zima, if
How
Zima ever comes back, the key is to get a bag of Skittles and whatever flavor you want to do, you get all the green ones and you put it in the Zima.
I
Get all the
knew a
purple
girl that
ones,
did
put it in
that.
the Zima. Oh yeah, and it
I
adds
knew
to
a
the
girl that
flavor.
did that.
Yeah, it adds to the
damn.
flavor and it goes down a lot smoother.
I bet it does go down smooth, doesn't it?
Oh, I love
It
Zima.
goes down really smooth. Look,
Hey, it was made by
I
Coors.
my my wife doesn't need to hear this, but when I was in college, I dated a girl named Amy Yeager, and her nickname was Jägermeister. And she was one of our fraternity sweethearts also. And when pledges would have to come, I'm not supposed to be telling this shit, but when pledges would come to get her signature, she would put Jägermeister, goes down smooth. And I was like, that doesn't sound like you want it to sound.
Your daddy's
You know,
not going to be proud of that slogan on a
right.
t-shirt.
Especially, and I'm the dude dating her at the time. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like you think that sounds.
Did she? I think she wrote it. She knew what she was writing.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna call BS on that because I think
I'm-
she
Can
was
I
I'm
just
sure she did.
can I just say every now and then you need to be a gentleman
Gentleman's Jack.
because I'm stupid. I don't know.
Don't be stupid. It's too
It's a good thing.
expensive. Just
It's a
drink
good
the
thing there's
cheap
not a
shit.
hyphen in the word off.
You can do it. Did you say hymen?
Hyman?
It's a hyphen.
I thought
Gentleman Jack hyphen off.
jack off hyphen jack off and or hymen. What the fuck? Look,
The label.
this shit ain't
Kenny,
monetized.
see, your brain just went where mine went because I misheard that, and I was like, this conversation has a whole new context now.
If the label said Gentleman Jack hyphen off.
I wouldn't buy it.
I heard Jack Hyman off, and I was like, where did we just go?
Look, if his hymen's off, it's okay. He's probably not Jack. His name was really Jane. It's okay.
Oh,
I mean, it's 2023. We can't blame Jack for being Jane and Jane for being Jack, but you know,
it's just a little spotting. It's not like a hemorrhage.
look. If you get
we'll just move on.
inside tip, if you get a 30 amp USB charger, the charging time is cut in half.
And there are just as many decaffeinated brands on the market that are just as tasty as the real thing.
What? Bullshit. Okay, look, can we just stop this right now? There is no such thing as a generic soda that tastes like Coke or like Pepsi or like Dr. Pepper.
I just
Okay.
quoted my movie again. Nobody gets me.
Ferris Bueller?
No, the real genius.
Hey,
Yeah, his teacher is going
Red
off on
spelled
him
it
about
correctly.
being in the lab, and he's like, he's expecting Chris to be serious, and he's just going off on him, and he's like, Jerry, there's just as many decaffeinated brands on the market, and he says this to the teacher, and the teacher looks at him and is like, I'm not kidding, Chris. And Chris is like, neither am I, Jerry. and just lets that stew.
Oh, Lord.
I'm sorry, I have a weird sickness for that movie.
There's only one movie line that I repeat over and over again. I will not do it here because it will embarrass my sons, and they'll be like, "Why did you do that?" And yeah,
It's some Steel Magnolias, isn't it?
Listen, can I just
No.
say? Can I just
it's
say?
from the last Indiana Jones, and it's Sean Connery.
Can
So
I just?
I try to do an English accent, but apparently,
Well, it's
my
not the
son-
last one.
yeah, it is.
No, it's not that. I just watched the new one.
Oh, there's a new one out now.
Yes, he did a new one. It's
I
got
didn't know that.
yes, and it's his last tour. He's old and not in a particularly good mood about much of shit. And it's John Rhys Davis character that actually taught one more adventure, Indy.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they stretched it a little far. I mean, there's time travel involved. I mean, they stretched it a little far.
Okay, this reminds me. I'm glad you brought that up because I've been wanting to ask you guys this for a couple of weeks. Have you seen the new Top Gun movie?
Yes.
There can be no creativity in the storyline. It was the exact same storyline, exact same characters as the original Top Gun, just the new generation. But for Goose, they had his son was Goose,
All right, Rooster.
and the whole
I liked
storyline
it.
was the same. The whole storyline was the same exact. It was a good
D.
movie. If you like playing,
D.
if you like the jets and stuff, it was awesome. But the
D.
storyline,
It's a controlled situation. They're fighter pilots. That means they're going to get in a plane and shoot some shit and blow some shit up. There's your storyline. I
Right.
mean, you know that going in.
but like, okay, no, but like when they were in the bar, remember when Tom Cruise was in the bar and he sang to what her name was, I forget.
Kelly McGillis.
Yeah, Kelly McGillis. They did the same exact thing
Right.
in this movie. Same.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be nostalgia. It wasn't as
I know.
bad. Look, I tell you, a far worse example of that is these new Star Wars movies, the ones with Rey or whatever. That first one, I mean, it is fucking the exact. I mean, they just put different people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the exact same thing, even down to the flying down the trench at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all couldn't have been. I mean, I can understand your criticism there, but I did enjoy the nostalgic part. And actually, there's as I go back and watch it, if you watch the first one and then go back and watch it again, there are things that you didn't catch the first. Like in the ends. All right, at the close to the end. Hopefully I'm not giving any spoilers, but when they have to get in the old Tomcat to escape the Russians or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything that Rooster says from then on during the dogfight is a direct quote from Goose. Everything. And I didn't catch that the first time. I knew there was certain little here's and there's, but that whole sequence, everything he says is something Goose said while in combat.
We were watching it, Jamie and I, and Hunter came out of his room and he's like, "Oh, Top Gun 2, huh?" And Jamie's like, "Yeah, your mom wanted to watch it." And I said, "Yeah, but I'm very disappointed in it." And Hunter goes, "Yeah, the guy's name is Rooster. His dad was Goose. I mean, it's still a bird."
Okay, so it is Christmas time, and we are talking about movies.
Oh.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Period.
My job here is done. Where do I drop the mic?
Right. They've been doing this year on Facebook, a lot of surveys asking people, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And funny enough, it's getting the votes. I mean, I know it's, I still say Lethal Weapon needs to be in that conversation too.
Let me ask this, because I'm not saying it was released at this time, but if Roots was released in December, would that be a Christmas movie?
No.
Okay, then.
It's
Not
not just
every
because-
movie released in December is a Christmas movie.
Exactly.
But
But
Die
what
Hard
is the overall
Die
point
Hard
of
is.
Die Hard is he's trying to get to his daughter for Christmas. That's all he's trying to do.
And that is
He's
why
been an
it's a
estranged
Christmas
father,
movie.
and he's getting an opportunity to spend Christmas with his kids.
Yep.
And that's the whole point. Is
I
he just stumbles across some bullshit to get there, but he's trying to
Die
get to
Hard,
his kids for Christmas.
Die Hard is as much of a Christmas movie as is Home Alone, because they're trying to get home for Christmas.
Yep.
Right?
It's just an action shoot 'em up version,
So,
but it's
look, people get shoot up in Christmas time too. You know, it is what it is. You know, there's
Jocelyn's gonna be so excited because Mama has never. Jocelyn's favorite Christmas movie is Christmas with the Cranks, and Mama has never watched it. And it came on TV tonight, and I recorded it for her. I'm gonna watch it with her tomorrow night.
What's Mama's favorite Christmas movie?
Oh, she goes back and watches like the It's a Wonderful Life. She does all the old shit, right? And I usually do some of that with her. For me, Scrooged is my favorite Christmas movie. Funny enough, Bill Murray. How can you fucking go wrong? I love that fucking movie.
I saw it at Target. I want to get it, but I didn't the last time I was there. But it's
hard.
You remember the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon, and
watch it every year.
The snowman. They had a DVD that had 5 of the original.
We've got it. Yep,
yeah,
we have that.
I want to
because it's hard to find that shit actually on TV anymore. So
Yep.
that's something we watch. Rudolph and funny enough, the one that nobody gives any love to. There's another one where Rudolph deals with a New Year's issue with Father Time and shit, and he goes back to the island. Yes, he goes back to the Island of Misfits Toys, and that one. The funny thing is that one has a much darker, almost sinister kind of feel to it. I think I know why it wasn't as popular. They probably didn't push it as much, but it's just the whole movie has that. I mean, the whole. Well, I guess you call it a movie. It's about an hour and a half of Rudolph.
Right.
It has a real particular. It's kind of dark a little bit, but that I love that one too. And y'all are going to be hearing in our live stream soon. Like I said, Snoopy and the Red Baron's my favorite Christmas song, other than Carol of the Bells. But Snoopy and the Red Baron was it, dude. I love that shit. I had that shit on 45. Oh, I was pimping. That was my shit. Everybody else listen to Journey and fucking shit like that. I'm listening to Snoopy and the goddamn Red Baron. You fucking right, I am.
Okay. How many of you watched the Peanuts Christmas?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Do they still play that on TV now?
They do play the Peanuts, but like Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman and all that is owned by. I want to say it's owned by Apple, and they won't release it.
Oh damn! So I need to buy the DVD.
But this year on YouTube, I've already saved it. Is the entire Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie, so you could go watch it. I've already marked it, so yeah.
That's a big. I mean, if I live to be 108 years old, I'm still gonna be watching fucking Rudolph and fucking
those cartoons never aged. Like they're still as good. The quality of the video,
the storyline is
this, and the video itself. Like even though it's not CGI, to understand the history behind that and how many generations of kids watch that every year, waiting for their Christmas presents to be under the tree the next day, you know.
And you know what the beauty of those older Christmas things too. There's a positive message in today's society. You got to be on one side of a belief or another. There are messages that are the point of some of those cartoons. The message they're trying to get across is a message that everyone no matter where your beliefs lie. And all, there's something that still ring true and can touch everyone, and that was their intent. And there's just been nothing like that since. There just hasn't.
To me, there is like this thing about, no matter how old I get, I can still remember a few of those Christmases. Not necessarily all of them, but the traditions behind them. Whether it was my grandma having us make strings of popcorn to go around the tree, and
Nobody in my family had that patience.
Exactly.
no,
Nobody.
It would be like
m-
1 on the tree, 5 in my mouth. 1 on the
my
tree,
my
5 in my
my,
mouth.
my grandma did it perfect. She had a bowl, and then she had a bag, and she said the bag is for the needle and the bowl is for your mouth.
Right.
And so it was, but like even like little things like the hot cocoa with the little tiny candy
Candy
canes
cane.
crushed in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Those
And my
those
grandma made cocoa old school. There was no,
yeah,
it
it was
wasn't like
cocoa
just
powder.
right.
It was cocoa
And
powder.
my grandmother on my father's side, funny enough, she was the person who did all the arts and crafts, homemade shit for Christmas. And there was this one thing she did, and this is going to sound so redneck, because essentially what it is clear solo cups, and she would put them all, fasten them all together to where it was just this globe, like a almost disco
Yeah,
ball
I've
of these
seen that.
cups, and they would
I've
all
seen
have
that.
lights in it, right?
Yeah,
And
I've
when
seen
those
that.
things are hanging outside at night, they're
Yeah,
gorgeous.
they are.
And it sounds so redneck, but they are so
They are
pretty.
pretty.
My grandmother did, and she would, that was her thing, man. Christmas crafts, that was her jam, man. She would make all kinds of shit. And when you see it put together, your first thought is, what kind of fucking train wreck is that? But once that shit's up hanging and it's lit up and everything, and it's gorgeous, and you're like,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, her glue gun, man. Her glue gun was her. That was her. You didn't fuck with Grandma Dunaway's glue gun, man. You didn't touch that shit.
Did she
And she was
bedazzle things?
I don't know that she got into bedazzling, but another
Uh,
neat thing about the woman was she's an old school genealogist. I can remember going with her to cemeteries and doing the gravestone rubbings and shit
dude,
like that to trace family lines.
can
Yeah,
I tell you a crazy story about grave rubbings that ended up into an epic moment for me? We lived near an old cemetery in San Bernardino, and they had a lot of the above ground tombstones,
right,
right? Where you would take the parchment paper and the charcoal and do the grave rubbings, right?
right.
And my buddy was really into doing that. And so we would go there often. And one day we were driving by there and they had the cemetery closed. And we pulled up and they said only visitors of verified people. And so we gave them the name of somebody who Alex had done a gravestone rubbing on. And we went
Right.
in there and we wanted to see what was going on. So as we drove around, this cemetery is where Randy Rhodes is buried. And we went by and there was a limo at the end of the mausoleum and Ozzy was standing there looking up at Randy
Yeah,
Rhodes' spot. And the power behind that, he was wearing a long black trench coat, like leather trench coat. Just looked like an album cover in the making when we drove by. And all of that because we had done grave rubbings there. We knew a name to get in and we got to see that.
you're right,
Okay,
Adam. I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
okay. I just want to ask a question about that. I saw a clip one time. I think they were interviewing Sharon, and she was saying that her and Ozzy were in a camper of some sort, like a motorhome,
They were all
and
in an RV.
his plane hit the top of it.
What happened? They were all in a tour bus,
Oh, it was
and
a tour bus.
Ozzy was asleep. Sharon was asleep.
Right.
Randy got up because two other dudes, the pilot and another dude, uh, wanted to take him on a little flight, and they decided it would be really funny to
Oh, if they
buzz
buzzed the
over the
tour
tour
bus.
bus, and
Okay.
Yeah.
they did, and they
They did.
crashed
Yeah.
and ate shit, and Randy died
Yeah.
in that crash.
Okay.
Uh, his the for everybody who listens to metal and any guitarist ever, you always wonder how much more could he have done, because
Yeah.
his short little life known between Quiet Riot and Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, that dude was one of the most impressive guitarists
That's what I hear.
in such a short period of time. Really, really brilliant. And the irony behind it, think about this. Ozzy's guitar player taught classical guitar.
Okay.
Well, funny enough, here's a little FYI for you, being a musician. Um, I had to give a speech once. It turns out in college I had a speech professor that was really into jazz, so I did a fucking
Yep.
speech about jazz, and I started with how many people know what form of music is the only indigenous form of music in the United States, and it's jazz. Everything has its roots somewhere. It's not surprising to me that Randy did classical guitar, because metal, most of the polyrhythms
Right.
and the scale patterns and shit that they use for these screaming solos is just Haydn or Beethoven on a violin. Metal gets its roots in classical.
Yep. Like for those who play guitar, you'd understand this. There's so many notes to be played. But in metal, it's like four bar chords. But Randy Rhoads, brilliant. His
Right.
grandparents and his parents owned a music store in San Bernardino. And yeah, I know them.
Something that's always amazed me about music, and maybe I'm saying this now because I'm a little lit, but think
I'll
of
get a little more.
all think of all the music that's ever been played,
Right.
all genres. Very rarely do you come across a song that sounds really similar to another song. It does happen, Vanilla Ice, but I mean, it does
The
happen,
the
but
biggest one for me in
it's
history
so
is
rare.
you heard the song. All right. Do you know the song John Cougar Mellencamp, ROCK in the USA?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, and all of a sudden the band name just escapes me, but the name of the song is "What I Like About You." It is
What I
the
like.
same song,
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
different
that's
lyrics.
that's the
Different
Kinks.
lyrics. That's
It,
it.
wait,
Yeah, the kid.
the Kinks. Yep. What I like
But
about you.
that
Yep.
John, it's the same fucking song, just a different set of lyrics on it. I mean,
As
same
as a
chord
mu-
progression, same
as a
rhythm.
mu- as a musician, one of the things that gets me is because we hear it in what we're going to play. We hear the
Right.
chords. We hear what note they're in. We hear what key they're in. We hear the chord progression, right? But when you hear something that doesn't fit or doesn't make sense and sounds amazing, that is like why there's a difference between most AC/DC songs have a particular rhythm to them. They do.
Mhm.
Okay. And it is what makes them distinctly AC/DC. And there is no fault in that or anything. I love them for that, because you cannot mistake anybody for
Right.
AC/DC, right?
And to me, that's the
But
mark of a great musician. There's some you just
in
don't mistake.
in some of these music styles, especially in like the real infamous ones, Stevie Ray Vaughan with blues. It doesn't matter who it is, whatever it is, right? Their style, when you hear it, is so different from everybody else's
It's their
that
signature.
yeah, it's a signature.
Right.
And while I will say that I play guitar and I play bass, I will not say I'm a musician, because I think they are, and I'm not that.
Right.
I can't do what they can do, but I love every bit of it. The day Stevie Ray Vaughan died, we shut down my music store.
I mean, and you're absolutely right, man. If you're listening, even when you're listening to old blues, man, um, if you're listening to BB King or Blind Melon Jelly, or you're listening to some of these guys, it's not a question. You
Yep.
know that's who you're listening to.
Right.
Yep.
All the way
Yeah.
back to fucking Robert Johnson, man. I mean,
Another one.
you will never hear a song that's Robert Johnson and not, even if you don't and
It's
haven't
like
listened to Robert Johnson. If you
it's
listen
like
to what you that's
yeah.
Robert Johnson.
Same thing with like Ella Fitzgerald or Etta James.
Ella,
You know who
man,
it
God,
is.
I still say to
Instantly.
this, I will go to my grave on this unless someone proves me wrong. Ella Fitzgerald was the best vocalist ever. If she was alive now, she could do death metal if she wanted. She could do ska if she wanted. She could do pop if she wanted. She could do R&B if she wanted. Ella, especially early Ella, there's some recordings where you really, and sometimes she's bebopping and scatting because it's jazz,
Yep.
and
Yep.
sometimes she's doing all these other things. But anyway, you really, especially in her early days, you listen to her, and you're in some of the things that she does, and you're as a guy now, because music wasn't where it was then now, but as a guy that it can appreciate jazz and also appreciate metal, and you listen to what she's doing here, and you're like, oh my God. If she can do that,
there are
what can she do here? You know, Ella was amazing.
there are particular people like that. Like we can think about that in with many major artists. Like where would Jimi Hendrix be today? Well, not today because he'd probably be croaked by now. But like, where could the music have gone had he not
Right.
I
passed
was
away
gonna
when he
say
did?
dead, and I
Okay. You mentioned
I saw Jimi Hendrix and Elvis in Hawaii.
Ella Fitzgerald, Etta James.
Etta was also
I got
silky.
to see her
Etta
in
was silky.
concert. I
Etta
saw
was
her at
silky.
the Hollywood Bowl, and she had the bar stool right there. And
Right.
in the middle of the concert, she turns over and bends her butt over and shakes it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And the crazy thing about even the vocalists, jazz's necessity to complicate shit.
Dimebag Darrell, another
Vocally,
great one. Yep.
Yes. But with jazz, like say, for example, you're playing a rock song, any standard rock song on the radio. Throughout most of the verse, you're going to be in one chord. Then you're going to hit that pre-chorus. Then you're going to hit the chorus, which goes to the tonic chord. Throughout that song, you're going to play three chords for the most part, and they're going to come in blocks. There might be motion around the bass, there might be motion around the guitar, but your root is that one chord. In jazz, every fucking beat of the song can be a different chord, which means as you're soloing and everything, you can't just think, okay, I'm soloing on G. For this beat, I'm soloing on G minor. For this beat, I'm soloing on E sus6. For this beat, jazz is some complicated shit. And you think about, like I said, Ella and her command. It was what makes me think she could do it is her command of her voice. She could do anything she could ever possibly ask of her voice to do. She did it like it was breathing. There was no work. She just
when I saw Etta James, it was at the Hollywood Bowl with Grover Washington Jr. and
fucking
Keiko
hell,
Matsuki
yes.
at the JVC Jazz Festival.
That was a fucking, I promise you that was a great show.
She bent over the bar stool and sat there singing, I'm sitting on my Wawa looking for some Lala tonight.
Etta had some dirty shit,
right?
Man. You look up shaving them dry. Look up shaving them dry.
good. I'm good.
If you want to see
I don't need to hear that.
Shit.
If you want to see someone sitting on their Wawa shaking some Lala tonight, you can join us in the Discord in about 4 minutes. The batteries will be charged.
You know, Ella had some obscure little. That was the craze back then, man. Because they would, people weren't. You couldn't do that, and jazz was trying to be what rock became at the time. Jazz was trying to be the It was the rebel music. It was the, So all these great jazz artists, they would do all this wholesome shit, and they would turn around, and you find these old recordings of them doing some absolutely filthy shit just to do it.
To a lot of young folks, you need to check out rockabilly.
Ain't nothing wrong with rockabilly. I like some rockabilly.
My favorite is Brian Setzer.
We used to do a rockabilly version of Baby Got Back, me and Drake, and it was so over, man. The crowd loved it.
Yeah. I grew up early enough that like Stray Cats turned me on to that music.
Stray Cat Strut was it, man. Brian Setzer Orchestra, some bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, and then later on, making guitars, I was at the NAMM show, and I'm at the Gretsch booth, and I'm looking at Brian Setzer's guitar, and I'm like, oh my God, that thing is so badass. And I hear this voice behind me, and he says, you can pick it up and play it if you want. And I'm like, no way. And I turn around and it's him, and I'm like, oh my God. Right? He was the only one who went gaga over.
I got a recommendation for you. If you're a fan of that, check out, and it's hard to find the right performance, but it's Harry Connick Jr. It's from his Red Light, Blue Light album.
Oh, yeah,
it's him and the band. It's him and his band. His band they're so fucking tight and perfect and doing this crazy shit. And there's times where, especially as a horn player, all you can do is laugh at it.
All right.
It's like,
in less than 2 minutes, we'll be laughing at horn players.
Shit's fucking
because
fire.
Red gave me a 3-minute warning.
Fire.
Okay, and can I just say, like, one of the things that I love about being a reactor was that I got on YouTube and people gave me a bunch of variety of shit that I would have never listened to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're over here talking about rockabilly, and some of you never listened to it. But I never listened to half the shit that I found on YouTube because the followers gave us suggestions. Mm-hmm. So make sure you follow each of our channels. By the way, the links are in the description below. We'll be in Discord in a minute. So please feel free to join us. Red, can you put the link for that, please?
Daniel.
Listen, we have to do a battery check. We'll be there in approximately.
I'm going to explain why I do that when we get to Discord, dude.
Oh, okay. It wasn't geared towards me.
Oh no,
it's from.
Okay.
It's from Star Trek 2. He's like, "Can I have a minute to inform my crew or whatever?" And Khan's like, "I give 2 minutes for you and your crew."
And
so
we don't
every time somebody
to
this day, anytime somebody says, "Give me a minute," I say, "I'll give you 2 minutes."
Okay.
We have.